Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening. I am Sheraton, and this is my channel, Show in the Ends. Now, this evening, I made some changes to some things. I haven't been doing my bi-weekly um, shows recently because I've been thinking about making some changes to the channel. And I suppose over the next few weeks, you will be seeing some changes. I'm going to be expanding the channel. So, although I will still be doing tarot, there'll be other things I'll be doing too. Oh crumbs. Oh, dearie me. Is this thing gonna work or not? Yeah, I hate this. Yes, there'll be other things I'll be doing too. So, yes, we have a light. We have a light. Is it enough? I don't know. Maybe. Yay, it's enough. Just lighting some incense. Yes, so there'll be some other things I'll be doing too on the channel. So I'm just trying to try different formats and different things at the moment. So everything's in flux. Furthermore, I don't generally tend to do readings on subjects unless I get a spiritual hit to do them. Otherwise, I don't really tend to do readings. I have to get the urge, the calling to do it. And sometimes I'll go with that, and sometimes I won't if I think it's too much of a hot potato. Even then, you know what? I might still do it anyway. Like that reading that I did on the whole COVID thing, which I really didn't want to do, but then I felt like I had to do it, so I did it. Um, and well, you know what happened if you've seen my subsequent shows, that I found the whole thing incredibly, deeply upsetting. Um, and I felt very much out of my comfort zone. And the hits that I got from having done that reading, I was very unhappy and not comfortable with it at all. Now, as an updates. Okay, I predicted it. I predicted that. Oh, I predicted quite a few things, didn't I? Quite a few of the things I predicted have come to pass. Okay. Um, I predicted about the SNP. I predicted that the new leader of the Scottish National Party would be Hamza Yousaf, although on my in the video that I did, I think I have him down as Yousaf Hamza, which I should probably change, but anyway, I'll probably get around to changing it sometime. So there's that. So I predicted that he would be the new MP, and it was a very close vote. It was a 52-48 split between um, uh, Hamza Yousaf and Kate Forbes. Forbes. Is it Kate Forbes? You know what? Menopause. Anyway, yes, I predicted that. And you can have a look at that. And I really have to start putting up more of the things that I've predicted and gotten correct. So that's one of the things. Another thing that I did predict was that there was an issue surrounding the SNP and Nicola Sturgeon's husband. Now, I think people have been quite quiet on this, but apparently Nicola Sturgeon's husband is chairman of the SNP. And apparently there's some kind of issue in regards to party membership being down and some kind of issue regarding party funds. I'm just saying. I'm just here. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what to say, really. Ugh. Okay. Now, tonight's show, I am doing a review, I guess, of Boris. This is a Boris review. Now, everyone, unless you've been living under a rock somewhere in a galaxy far, far away, you all know about Boris and what Boris has been up to in the UK. You all know about the Partygate scandal, that whilst the UK was on various levels of lockdown, but pretty drastic lockdown, where people were not allowed to meet their friends, family, neighbors, loved ones. People were not allowed to say goodbye to dying relatives and loved ones in hospitals or in hospices. You couldn't go to visit your granny in a care home. Um, all that stuff. People couldn't go to funerals. There was a limit on the number of funerals people were allowed to attend funerals. Weddings were, everything. They were having parties in number 10 in Downing Street. And there was it was party central, UK party central, literally. Not for the Conservative parties, but just for parties in general. Although yes, they were all Conservatives, but that doesn't matter. And yes, Boris went up before the Privileges Committee on Wednesday. And oh my gosh, what a carry on. So whilst in front of the Privilege Committee, whilst I'm just gonna do this while I'm shuffling. Tonight I am using my DC tarot because this is Boris Johnson, and if ever there was a character that one would think was in a comic book villain, is Boris Johnson. But he's the kind of comic book villain that people really like. And you can't blame him because the guy is gifted. He is a siren. He is a siren. When it talks about the gift of the gab, he's an intelligent guy and he knows he's got skills. But talk about the gift of the gab. No one can keep you entertained like Mr. Boris Johnson. I don't like him. I don't. But there's something about Boris where I can't hate him. I can't hate him. I don't like him as a politician. He's a terrible, terrible, terrible politician. As a person, he's not even that nice a person, in as much that, he's never been with a woman he hasn't lied to. So there's that. But like Boris, oh my gosh, Boris has something. He just has something. I found out recently that Boris has a moon in Scorpio. Boris has a moon in Scorpio, which means he's a Gemini. I think, has he got no, he's a Gemini with a Libra rising and a moon in Scorpio. The man's dangerous. He's dangerous. Oh my days. Boris is dangerous, man. But like I hated him as prime minister. I thought he was a terrible prime minister. I mean, I just don't like it as a politician. And yet at the same time, he wasn't the worst, but he was the worst. He's a hard person to really, I mean, there's just something about Boris. So anyway, During the Privileges Committee, they had pictures up when they asked him questions, and they said to him things like, you know, this is the privileges. When did you know? Because this is the main question they're asking. Not did you mislead Parliament? Did you lie to Parliament? No, no, no. They're asked, did you deliberately mislead Parliament when you told them that there were no parties and all guidance was followed? No rules were broken and all guidance was followed. Now, why this is important is if you are an MP and you're standing up before Parliament and you say something and you later find out that that's not true, you're supposed to immediately try to correct the record. Boris, I don't know how long it was before he realized what he was saying wasn't true, but he didn't correct the record. And because of that, then you can be charged with misleading Parliament, having deliberately misled Parliament. So you can't accuse someone of telling a lie on the floor, but you can accuse them of deliberately misleading Parliament if they do not correct the record at the earliest possible occasion. So today, the question I want to ask is, are the Privilege Committee going to throw the book at him? Is he going to get the appropriate penalty for the lying to Parliament? The deliberately misleading Parliament. I think that's one. So that's the question I want to ask today. Is he going to get the full penalty? The full penalty is a 10-day suspension from Parliament, and it's a 10-day suspension from Parliament, and let's see, and that would trigger a by-election. So if he gets a 10-day suspension from Parliament, it means that a vote can go out to his constituents in Uxbridge, where he's an MP, and the people of Uxbridge can be asked, you know, do you want to have a new MP? So, and if they vote yes, then Boris is no longer standing as a Conservative MP for that area, and a by-election will take place where they'll have to vote someone else in. Oops. Okay. Right. Let's see how many cards, because I've just been shuffling. Right. 1, 2. Is that 2? Oh, yeah, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need another 4 cards. Another 4 cards. Okay. So is this the end of Boris's career? You know, is this the thing that kicks him out? Is he going to lose his seat? I mean, I did see Boris going in the later part of the year. I thought I saw him going between September and December. But in all honesty, you know, when it comes to the spirit, when it comes to spirit, there is no time works differently. So let's have a look and see whether okay, 2 more cards, please. Let's have a look and see whether Boris is going to get the full 10-day suspension. He may well get the full 10-day suspension. You know what? I'll see how it is. Anyway, yeah, so let's have a look, see. All right, I need another 2 cards, please. Spirit, may I have another 2 cards, please? Okay. May I please have another 2 cards? Okay. Just gonna go like that and break. And I'm gonna take this card here. And then I'm gonna that card there. Oops, not that one. That one. I have no idea what that one is. Right. Now, a Sacred Destiny card. I'm going to use the Sacred Destiny deck as an oracle card. I'm not going to go for an energy. Should I go for an energy card today? I don't know if I want to go for an energy card today. Might go for an energy card. Okay, so that will be the outcome. And this, I'm going to go for one archetype card. Okay, one archetype card. This one is very much a much shorter reading. So, okay. Okay, please give me an indication of the energy of the decision they're going to make. Are they going to make the decision to finish off Boris? Is this going to be a decision to finish off Boris? Or are they going to just try and put him in a box? Will this be a decision to finish off Boris? Okay. I'm gonna, no, that's not a card. Right, so I've picked my cards. All right. So those are sitting right over here. Actually, I'll just put them there. And I'm going to spread these out. Okay. Is this a decision to finish off Boris once and for all? All right. Okay, what is the energy around the Privileges Committee? Are they going to vote to finish off Boris once and for all? That card or that one? That one. That one. Okay, where am I putting this? Somewhere. Okay, I'll just put that there. Are they going to vote to finish him off? And then that's the end of Boris. We'll see him on TV and the speaking circuit. But that's about it. Maybe he'll go back to journalism. Who knows? All right. Okay. Right. Before I do anything, I'm going to pray. Okay. And oh yes, let me pick an outcome card quickly. All right, outcome of, okay, where is Boris going? Outcome of the hearing. Apparently, the decision will come down in summertime. So this is any time between May and maybe August, apparently. I think they're definitely going to want to wait until after the May local elections in order to make a decision. So what direction is Boris going? Is he staying in the House of Commons, or is he coming out for good? Is he leaving politics? Okay, the decision the committee makes, are they going to kick him out of politics or let him linger on for the next general election? Okay, let's have a look. See What's the outcome of their decision? What is the outcome for Boris? What is the outcome for Boris? What's the outcome for Boris? Okay. Are they going to kick him out for good? That card. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. And before I do anything else, let's pray. Mother, Father, God in heaven, ancestors, guardian angels, spirit guides, please allow me to see and say what you would like for me to say and see on this topic. Please enable me to hear. Please enable me to understand. And please enable me to convey the messages that you wish to bring forth. About Boris. What's his future? Are the Privileges Committee just going to give him a slap on the wrist and let him hobble on to the next general election? Or are they going to turn around and say, bad Boris, bad Boris, you've been a very naughty boy. Please enable me to convey the message that you would like me to bring. In Jesus' name, the divine emanation. Amen. 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 Okay, let's have a look-see. Ooh. All right. At the moment, we have the Hanged Man. So there's a suspension. There's not a lot going on, which makes sense because, as I said, the committee was last week and the suspension is going to carry on for a couple of months. People are saying in May, probably after the local elections, but it could be later. It could be August. It might even happen in September. Who knows? Ooh. This is interesting. The Nine of Swords. Okay. You know, the Hanged Man can be suspension and things not moving forward, things not being moving backwards. It can mean stasis. But it can also mean sacrifice. The Nine of Swords, obviously, those are the sleepless nights and anxiety, worry about what could be. Sometimes the worries are in your own head. Sometimes the worries are there for a reason. Let's see. Oh. At the base of the reading is the Nine of Pentacles. Okay. The Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is also known as the wealthy and independent lady. Interesting that a Pentacles card is at the base of this reading. Another thing that's interesting Pentacles can be about material wealth. They can be about your values and beliefs. They can also be about your body, your health, wealth, and values. Let's continue. The Six of Wands. Okay. This is telling me that victory, accomplishment, being that celebrated and venerated person, this is a thing of the past because it's in my past position. It's the fourth card. Ooh, crowning the reading, the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. Okay. The Knight of Swords, it's an action card for starters, being a knight. But the Knight of Swords can be the aggressive guy, the one who runs in where angels fear to tread. Can also be the person who goes in and gets things done. Kind of like he's a monster, but he's your monster. I'm going to check that one. Okay. In the immediate future, I have the Ten of Swords. This card kind of came up upside down. And I'm not sure if it should remain upside down. Let me see what the next card says, and then I'll get a better picture. I'll get a better view. Okay, and that's in the immediate future. Regardless of whether it's upright or it's upside down, that's telling me that this is the end of a cycle in the near future. I don't think he's going to last, but hey, let's continue. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. They're going to throw the book at him. They are going to throw the book at him. They're going to throw the book at him. Eight of Cups. In his mind. I asked the question, are they going to throw the book at him to get rid of him for good? I think they are. I think they are. In their minds, they want him to walk away. In their minds, they want him to walk away. As I said, this Ten of Swords in the immediate or near future, it's the end of a cycle anyway, whether it's upside down, upright or not, it's still the end of a cycle. So there's definitely an ending here. Regardless, but yes, that Eight of Cups is telling me in their minds, they want him gone, 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 gone. Okay. The Page of Cups, the environment. The environment. The environment around them is not great. The environment around is not great. If anything, I would say, and especially looking at the way these cards all line up, I would say, and I'll show that to you. Right. Right, let's have a look, see. I've got, oops, right, okay. This is the suspension or the sacrifice, crossed by the anxiety, sleepless nights. Then you have the celebrated person in the past position. You have your Ten of Swords in the near future. And right next to your Ten of Swords, you've got your Page of Cups right next to it. And that's telling me, when I'm looking at this, that this is not a good combination. This is not a good combination at all. The environment, I would go so far as to say, you know, upright, the Page of Cups can be like a younger person and offer there's some supportive feeling there, supportive news, because pages are news cards. Whereas knights are action cards, pages are messenger cards. So the messages that are coming out are not good. They are not supportive. They're not supportive. Because there's no question that the house, that Boris Johnson misled the house. Did he do it deliberately or not? Now, the majority of people who saw the hearings, the vast majority of people, some people conservatively say it's about 70% of the voting British public believe that he was lying when he said he didn't know. I mean, this is a guy who they're showing him a picture of him at one of these work dues where apparently they were saying goodbye to some people. There's some booze on the table, there's bottles of champagne and everything. And he's standing there and he's like, yeah! And there's these people standing around the table. No one's wearing a mask. Nobody's socially distant. But he's saying that all guidelines are followed. He says that if there was, what was it he said? He said something like, yes, the guidelines said you had to be 2 meters away, at least 2 meters away from everyone. But if you were indoors and you had to be there for work, that mitigations would be in place. So therefore you had to be 1 meter distanced away. And then you also had to put mitigations in place, like plastic screens and all kinds of things. So he's there going, yeah. And they said to him, okay, we understand you put mitigations in place. Could you point to me where the mitigations are in this picture? And he's like, well, they're in the other room. So there's no doubt in anybody's mind that he lies. The question is, did he do that deliberately or is he that dumb? Nobody, 70% of the population do not believe he's that dumb. So if the privileges committee don't throw the book at him, it's like everyone's going to be looking at them like, really? 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 I mean, there's gaslighting of the highest order. Anyway, let me stop talking and continue the reading. So yes, The news ain't looking good. Nobody believes you, Boris. Everyone thinks you're a bloody liar. I don't know which one must be. Oh, okay. Right. King of Cups. This came out reversed. In a pack where I've had virtually no reversals, this one came out reversed, and I'm going to leave it reversed because it's not good. It ain't good. I'm just going to read it as reversed. So, King of Cups, which is funny, which is hilarious, actually. Now I'm thinking about the King of Cups. Okay, the concern is that Boris is a party animal and he just can't help himself. The concern here is that's the conclusion that the whole country's come to. That's the concern. The King of Cups is in his cups. Oh, I pulled an extra card. How is that? All right then. 4 of Wands in the house. How is he being viewed in the house? 4 of Wands, the house. Okay, so yes. It's going to come down to a vote in the house. The Privileges Committee will have their say. And let me have a look-see. Okay. Oh my gosh. Hi. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I didn't see your comments. I will get to you. Right. Yes. So, in his cups. Yes, he's in his cups big time. Right. The 4 of Wands. The 4 of Wands is the house. So, that's the House of Commons. What is this telling me about the House of Commons? In the House of Commons, yes, they will have the final say. They will have the final say. Somebody is celebrating. Somebody in the House of Commons is celebrating. I didn't think I'd pull an extra card, but somehow I managed to. So there's celebrations. Celebrations in the House of Commons. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here. I would normally get another card to get me a clarifier, but seeing this 8 of Wands here, the walking away card in the mind, someone walking away. They want him gone. They want him out. Being followed by the Page of Cups. In the environment, it's not one of supportive news. It's not nice news. And the Page of Cups there, sitting there right next to the 10 of Swords, as in the near future, I would go so far as to say someone celebrating, but I don't think it's Boris. It ain't Boris celebrating. It's not Boris celebrating. I don't think it's Boris. Right. So let's have a look. See, I asked the question, what was in the minds of how do they want to handle the Boris situation? And I only drew one card. Card I got was dilettante. Dilettante delights in the arts without having to be a professional. Alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuit. That's the light attributes. The shadow attribute is pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. Boris, apparently, according to him, he asked people if it was within the guidelines and the rules. And when it came down to it, under grilling, he admitted that he asked people who did not know what they were talking about, who were not civil servants, who had no idea. So he asked people about the legal ramifications of doing things, but he didn't ask anyone who would actually know. And even those people he's saying he asked, they're saying he didn't ask them. All right, let's see. What's the final outcome? Okay, transformation. Transformation. I said, how is this going to go down for Boris? Is he going to end up having to leave politics? Everything here is telling me this man is gone. He is done. They're going to throw the book at him. They're going to throw the book at him. Now, whether they make that decision about the Privileges Committee in May after the local elections, or they drag it out and wait till August, or maybe even in September, like I originally said, that I thought I saw him or someone big in politics going between September and December. Whichever one, Boris is transforming. He will not be a politician. He gone. He's gone. He gone. They're getting rid of him. And you know another thing with the Ten of Swords? Betrayal, backstabbing. Hey, man's done. He's done. Finite. All right, let me have a look at the chat. Oh gosh, hello Brett, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Hello Sylvester, lovely to see you. Thank you very much for joining me. Okay, Brett, your question: were the people who attended the Privileges Committee? No, they were not. They absolutely were not. The person who was supposed to do an investigation into Partygate originally, who was the ethics officer, he was in the COVID part. He was in the parties, so he had to step down, and they had to get another civil servant to come in and do that investigation. And there's a whole thing when they're trying to say she's biased because she's supposed to be going to work for the opposition, she's leaving the civil service to go and take up a job for the opposition. So there's a whole thing, but it's rubbish. But yeah, so nobody on the Privileges Committee were attendees at Boris Johnson's COVID parties. They're corrupt, but they're not that corrupt. It's not that bad. It's bad, but it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. Yes, Boris is the king of cups, for real. That's the thing with Boris. You know, I can't even hate on Boris as much. He's a rapscallion. He's a cad and a bounder. He is the kind of man who he opens his mouth and he says something to you, and you know everything is a lie, but he makes you feel so good. And with that moon in Scorpio and that Libra rising, Boris has got some skills. That's all I'm going to say. A woman came on TV, I think it was last year, to defend Boris. She was an ex-girlfriend of his. She was with this guy about 20 years ago. She had a relationship with Boris 20 years before. And they broke up and they went their separate ways. She got married. She had children with somebody else. No, this woman went on TV and she was like, well, you know, he's a terrible person for Prime Minister, but he's a very nice man. And the way she spoke about him, you could see she still had stars in her eyes. She was like, yes, he's a lovely man, but very much unsuitable to be Prime Minister. She was dazed. She was dazed of this man. his dingle. She was dazed off his dingle after being separate from this guy for over 20 years. And she's now married and she's got a whole family. Over 20 years. She was still in the daze. I'm telling you, Boris, you can hate the things he does, but there's something about Boris. He don't look like much, but there's something about Boris. Oh my gosh. I mean, you know what? To be fair, I don't actually think it makes a difference. Boris wanted to have number 10 as party central. So he wanted to, he only attended about 8 of the parties, I think, or something along those lines. Or maybe it was 3 of the parties. I can't even remember how many attended. But he wanted everyone to have a good time, whether he was there or not. So it didn't matter to him what the rules were. But yeah, Boris, there's only one Boris Johnson. Thank God. Please, no more. That's all I can say. And I really hope I never meet a Boris Johnson type character in my life. Oh, actually, tell a lie. I think I've already met one, but I'm not going to say anything about that. So that's my reading for today about Boris. But yeah, Boris is gone. Boris, at the foundation of the reading, you know, you had the 9 of Pentacles. He's going for financial independence. He wants to make money. He wants to make money. And he's got those 2 little babies now that his wife has had. 2 little babies. So how many children is that he's got now? Because nobody's sure. There might be 6 kids or there might be 7. Nobody knows how many children he actually has. I'm just saying. So with that, I'm going to bid you all good night. Thank you very much for joining me. If you would like a reading, please feel free to contact me on my email. I'm at showattheends@gmail.com. And you can send me an email there and book a reading. And I'm not super expensive, so you don't have to worry about that. And yes, if you would like to, please press the like button, please subscribe, please feel free to share. And let's see, what else am I going to be covering? I think maybe on Friday I might be covering the Casey review into that police report that was done by Baroness Casey. And yes, there's also an issue with the emergency alert system, that if you don't respond to it, it can stop your phone from working. I don't know, there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening in the UK, frankly. All kinds of stuff. But with that, thank you very much for joining me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And I look forward to seeing you again on Friday. Oh, go ahead, Brett. You have a question. No, please feel free. What question would you like to ask before I go? Okay. All right then. Okay, so good night. And yeah. Chill. Laters.